Hello, how you doing? Welcome back to Grand Prix World and part one of our 2022 mod playthrough. This is, in a sense, a preparation for F1 Manager 2022, which of course will be coming out at the end of August, and there will be plenty of content on the channel over here. I'm Joe. If you are new around here, make sure you click that subscribe button for daily sports and retro gaming content, including F1, cricket, snooker, tennis, football, all of that good stuff. And of course, today we are beginning our series. I really can't wait to get into it. Hopefully you guys are good. And these are all part of a remastered mod list by a man called, or woman, I don't know, a person called Meanie, who is over on the GPW sort of forum website. Check out the full list down below in the comments section. I will put it in there, and I'll also put it into the description so that you can see the wonderful work that this guy has put in, and lots of retro seasons in there, all the way back to 1989, I believe. So let's get into the action then. We are going to be starting a brand new series. If you've not seen this game before, then perhaps, you know, it will be a little bit new to you. I have got a full series on the original version of the game, or at least the original season of the game, and we took Sauber from 1997 all the way to title Glory. So let's have a little look. This series, I think, you know, this particular series for me, it's preparation for the official game. So I am going to go with Mercedes. They're obviously not the fastest team at the moment. They're probably the third quickest car in real life. We are definitely going to make sure that we try and get them back. I don't want to go with something easy like Red Bull or Ferrari, but equally I don't want to go with the sort of road to glory, because it's not going to be a multi-season series. So we are just going to focus on Mercedes this season, with, of course, Lewis Hamilton and George Russell. Nick de Vries is our reserve driver, but as you can see, we can click through all of the different teams that are taking part in 2022. Now, obviously, back in 1998, I think, when this game came out, there were 11 teams in Formula One, so he does have to put in a fantasy team in there. And of course, who better to go for than Andretti Autosport, who we've got Herta and Roman Grosjean driving for, and Duhan as the sort of reserve driver in there. But we are going to go Mercedes, so it'll be interesting, because I've never really played this game from a point of view of a team that can already win championships. So this first episode, we will have 2 races towards the end of it, all simulation based. The sort of live action hasn't aged particularly well, so we are gonna do that the sort of skip to results. But I think a lot of the fun in this series comes from the behind the scenes stuff anyway. So first of all, let's have a little look at the news. So we've got Mercedes welcoming Captain Goodspeed as the new boss. The commercial arm of the FIA has also confirmed new funding levels for the season. Let's have a little look at this. So we are going to be getting $26 million. Finances wise, we're doing all right. We're on 5 million at the moment. We do need to have a look at signing some drivers for next season. If I was to make this a season 2, we certainly don't want to be left behind on that. So first things first, we want to try and get Lewis Hamilton back at the team for next year. So straight away, let's head down to Lewis Hamilton, and he's probably going to want a little bit more money than that. So let's go for 27,600. We're going to increase his race bonus to 500k, and then his championship bonus perhaps to 7.2 million. We'll go for 2 seasons in a first driver role. Let's see what he fancies from that. Okay, so he's happy with most of that. We just need to up that championship bonus for him. Now, our second driver position, of course, George Russell. I would love to keep going with George. There's certainly no No reason to go against that. He's currently on 4 million. Let's go up to 6 million pounds. We'll up his race bonus to about 100,000, and his championship bonus will go for 800,000. We'll go for 3 seasons in a second driver role. Oh, your team is not a strong championship contender. Your team doesn't have a strong financial package. Okay, so that's an interesting one. Alright, Sodgy George. I'm going to go for my favourite driver, Nico Hulkenberg, who, let's have a little look at his speed. It's not too bad. It's fairly comparable to George Russell. He's obviously got good experience, good morale. Alright then, let's see if we can get Nico Hulkenberg in instead. Which I'm sure we will be able to. For 2 seasons. Nice. Okay, so we have got Nico Hulkenberg. He will be joining us next season instead of George Russell, who apparently doesn't want to stay at Mercedes anymore, and that's fine. Test driver-wise, it kind of doesn't matter, but I think we do probably want Nick de Vries. He's already a quick driver, of course, and has a lot of potential. So let's keep Nick de Vries around. 3 million pounds a year. We'll up his race bonus and up that and try and get him in for maybe 3 seasons. Let's have a look. Championship bonus too low, so we'll have to come in next round and have a look at those. Commercial wise, we have got Sanders in. Let's try and keep him at the team, although we could go and nick somebody else, but I don't think we particularly want to do that. Let's just keep him. He's fairly cheap. Yeah, I mean, they're not that much more, but let's give it one go, shall we? One go at getting somebody better. Probably just that. And 2 seasons. Contract too short. Okay, I mean, none of that was good for him. Try that. No. Contract too long. Yeah, this is the sort of issue when you get to being a good team that they want the world, and he's accepted. Good. So we are sticking with Sanders for next season. Design-wise, I mean, we could try and get Adrian Newey, but he's going to be fairly expensive. But he's actually not much more expensive. Let's go poach Adrian Newey, shall we? We're saving a bit on our second driver next season, so let's see if we can get Adrian Newey into the team. Let's see if he fancies that. Ooh, championship bonus too low, but we might be able to get him next time out, so we'll hold off on that. I mean, Red Bull have got all the best staff, which is quite funny, really. This guy from Haas looks pretty good. I feel really bad. I don't know any of their names. Which is quite funny, really. Right. Championship bonus too low. Let's try and get James Key. Try him for 2 seasons. Damn it. Okay, let's try and keep him for next season. We're going to have to get some pretty wacky sponsors out of this. Oh, what is going on? Sanchez? I'm having to offer fairly high stuff for this. Finally, we get somebody to accept. So we're going to get Sanchez for next season. Mechanics wise, is that Mike Dean? No idea. I don't actually know many of these names, which is really bad of me. I mean, he's fairly cheap, isn't he, for a 5-star? Let's move that up to about 700k. I think it is going to be a 1-season deal. Nice. Okay. We've probably paid a little bit overboard, but I'd rather do that and get good people on hand. Let's go and get ourselves some more excellent engineers. We do have a little bit of room in the team, so we might as well just go and fill that up as much as we can into the design phase as well. Well, we obviously have to do some testing, work out how good the car is and all of that. That's fine. Engineering wise, this first episode's probably going to be a little bit longer than your typical Grand Prix World episode, but yeah, we have to go ahead and do all of this first. The sort of admin-y role, but now we've done all of that, there's no real need to continue on the screen. So let's have a little look at testing. We've got 3 cars. We'd probably like to get a 4th car made. There's some R&D stuff. Our factory's pretty good, but none of this is any good at this point. We're obviously on a works contract with the Mercedes team. Pirelli, we are a partner. We'll have a little look at what the tyres are for next season. Fuel-wise, we are with Petronas. We'd like to try and keep it as realistic as possible with that. That's how the technology's looking so far this year. S-duct, monkey seats, a blown axle, and dual-axis steering. All of that is apparently driver aids in 2022. That's really cool. I didn't know that was in there. So we need to have a look at that. But let's do some testing first. Let's apply some mechanics to the job. I'm going to put 10% on all of these. Shouldn't really need to do much testing, but we'll give it a go. And then might as well do the maximum amount of testing that we can, just to make sure we get everything we need out of this. And driver-wise, we'll just go 20% on all of them. And from experience, setup testing is probably the one you need to do least of, and research as well. There we go, that's fine. Let's perform that and have a little look. Okay, so fuel testing, a little bit more to be desired. But development, we can work out how good our car is. And then, hopefully, can we start work on it yet? I don't think so, not at this point. We can look ahead at next season, but there's no point until the regulations have been approved. But 48% as a starting car, that's not great. That's not great. We could be in a little bit of trouble, actually, a bit like the real-life Mercedes team early in this season. Reliability-wise, we're not looking too bad. So let's work on some performance upgrades. We're going to work on the clutch. So we'll put 50% on that. And we'll start looking into some driving aids. So maybe an S-duct. Let's go for that. That's going to give us a little bit more straight line speed. So that's fine. Okay. We have got some spares. That's all good. Research-wise, we might as well pass that on. And then engine-wise, okay. Let's go for a little bit of engine improvement for the next Grand Prix. I think power-wise, we probably want that as high as possible. So let's get that sorted. Tyre-wise, we can't assist with the R&D. So actually, it was a little bit stupid of me to do any tyre testing there. We can do some fuel testing, though. Or fuel improvement. So we'll do a couple of bars of improvement, and yeah, engine tolerance will up that a little bit. So that will be in place for next season. Now, let's just have a little look at the calendar. I don't know if it changes, does it? No. No, that's the same calendar as we've got in real life. Okay. Now, so I think everything's ready to go there. We could probably do with maintaining the cars a little bit. We have got 3 spares in the house, so we can go ahead and get those up to scratch, which is good. I'll go ahead and construct some of these spares, and then I'll be back in just a second. Okay, here we go then. This is, for me, the most exciting part of the game, is making these deals, making you sort of get your title sponsor and whatever for next season. So straight away, Petronas, we want to get talking to them as our main sponsor for next season, so we'll stick 20% on that. Engine wise, of course, we want to stick with Mercedes. We are the Mercedes Works team, but what's quite funny is you can see Ferrari go and use for Mercedes engines. Renault are in there, Red Bull powertrains are in there as well. But yeah, lots of opportunity there. Tyre wise, I don't think there will be any other tyre supplies in there this season, so yeah, we'd like to try and pick up a works deal, but nobody is on a works deal at the moment, so there is some works partner and customer deals available for next season. Fuel wise, we'll stick with Petronas because they're going to be our title sponsor hopefully next season, so it sort of makes sense. They have a works deal in place, so does Shell, but other than that, not a lot in there. Then cash sponsors, we'll sort of look at them down the line, but I'd quite like to stay with the people that we've got. Ineos is obviously a big sponsor of Mercedes, so let's get that going. Then we can work out what sort of hospitality we want to be doing. I don't think there's any point doing any hospitality for the first Grand Prix because you haven't got any deals going. James Corden there. Merchandise is obviously a big one as well, but other than that, I think we're ready to go for our first race of the series. So team orders, Lewis Hamilton is number 1 driver, Russell is number 2 driver, so we probably want to keep this gap fairly consistent. I do want to make Lewis a little bit more aggressive, try and make the most of the car. George Russell, probably less aggressive. He's not as good a driver as Lewis, at least statistically, so a little bit more aggressive though. Setup wise, because he's the number 1 driver, he will expect a little bit more in terms of the setup points, so we'll give him 6 and we'll give George Russell 4 and maybe split that strategy a little bit. We do need to confirm these team orders. There we go. Then setup wise, what do we want to go for? Do we want to go hards or softs? Because these were the rules back in 98. I think we'll split the strategy. We'll go hard with Lewis and softs with George. Hards tend to be the best way to go. Yeah, we want to put that on a maximum so it gets onto full effort. We don't really want to be doing any car scrutiny, so I don't think that's particularly wise. And then we'll stick the rest on car security so that people aren't spying on our cars. Right, let's get into the first race of the season then, in Australia. Okay, now we don't want to, well, we probably want to view the competitors, but I don't want to view qualifying, I don't want to view the race. As I say, it is pretty clunky in 2022, so let's push on. So there is a list of all of your competitors. Doesn't look like anybody has swapped out their original drivers for the reserve or anything. It's going to be a dry qualifying to start off the season. Very dry, very high wind. We are going to go for hard tyres for Lewis, and for George we're going to go for soft tyres. Let's see how we get on in qualifying then. Fourth and fifth, not too bad at all. And it's Charles Leclerc on pole position for Ferrari, a 131.8. Verstappen there in second, 2/10 behind. Sainz in third, just ahead of Lewis in fourth there. George Russell in fifth and Sergio Perez in sixth. Alonso seventh, Norris eighth, Gasly ninth, and Ocon in 10th. Ricciardo qualifies in P11, Tsunoda in 12th, Bottas 13th, Vettel 14th, of course, announced his retirement over the last few days. Zhou Guanyu in 15th, and Stroll 16th, Magnussen 17th, Albon 18th, Schumacher 19th, and Nicholas Latifi in 20th, with the two Andrettis a little bit off the pace. It is overcast for the race, a high wind speed, so slightly cooler temperatures though. So yeah, it's going to be a one-stopper for Lewis Hamilton, and then George Russell will be doing a two-stopper. So what we're looking at, a 29-29 split for Lewis, and we will give him a brand new boot for both of them. We're going to give George Russell cured tyres for the first two stints, and then going to stop him twice, obviously, and we'll see how we get on in the race. So here we go. Oh, Lewis Hamilton DNFs, but George Russell brings it home in 5th place. Charles Leclerc wins the opening race of the season. You know, quite a way ahead, 32 seconds ahead of Max Verstappen, who just edges out his teammate Sergio Perez in 3rd there. Sainz finishes 4th for Ferrari. George Russell finishes 5th, Norris 6th, Ricciardo in 7th, with Alonso, Ocon and Tsunoda rounding out the top 10. What happened to Lewis? Clutch problem, and that is a pity. Okay, so that is the driver's standings at the moment. You can see all of the point system is updated to what it is in 2022, which I think is awesome. And then the constructors there, Ferrari leading the way on 37 points. We are currently 4th, but let's have a little investigate at that race. What was happening to the positions? Is it this one? So where was Lewis? So Lewis retired, and he was in 4th at that point, so it looked like not a lot of overtaking was happening. George Russell actually dropped down a little bit early on, but fought his way back through and was as high as 3rd at one point, before dropping down to his ending position of 5th place. Okay, fair enough. Right, let's have a little look at the news. Anything in there? Charles Leclerc added another race victory. George Russell came 5th. Red Bull had a great race. Lewis Hamilton finished the race early. Nico Hülkenberg will be racing for Mercedes. Anything else? Haas hopes to close a deal with Valtteri Bottas. Very interesting. Okay. Cool. Mattia Binotto wins Manager of the Month. Fair play to him. Right. Emails-wise, we did make a little profit, which is good. We need to go and talk to Lewis Hamilton, try and get him sorted out for next season. Yeah, don't really need to take much notice of all of this. We have been working on a deal with those, which is good. Cool. Right, here we go then. Drivers-wise, let's have a little chat to Lewis. Now, he wanted a higher championship bonus, so let's give him that higher championship bonus. Oh, still too low. Now we're at risk of losing Lewis next race, so that's a bit of a problem. Nick de Vries, let's up that championship bonus, and he has accepted. So we have got him, at the very least, for the next 3 seasons in a test driving role. We haven't got anybody in for Sanders just yet. Oh no, we have. Yeah, we have got Sanders in. It just says final season 2024. Yeah, we need to get somebody in for Newey, so okay, let's up that. And he has accepted, so we have got Adrian Newey in for next season. That's very, very good for the design department. We've got Sanchez coming in next season for him, and Dean is in till 2023, so that's all good. Right, I told you that wouldn't take too long. Now we need to go into doing some testing. So tyre testing, we've still got full bars on that. We certainly don't need to be doing quite as much on the mileage. But because it's fairly cheap, we might as well anyway. Yeah, we can stick the extra 20% in there. That looks good to me. Okay. Cool. Cool. Right. Brilliant. We've got everything in there now. We've worked out a chassis upgrade, so we can start work on our 2022 car. Let's take a few off this. So we've increased the performance of the clutch. Annoyingly, the reliability is very, very good of that, so I don't really know why it failed in the last Grand Prix. Oh, this is ready to be approved. Yes, lovely. So we have got our first driving aid on the car, and that's perfect. Let's get some DAS in there. Let's go for 35% on that, and then the 22 chassis. We will upgrade that. So that will take a few races to come good. Now we need to pass on the research points to basically boost those. So if you pass the research on, you can see the 2022 chassis got a little bit of progress, as has the technology and the driving aid, which is perfect. We can upgrade our technology and construct the driving aids, which is good. So you're seeing that we asked the FIA if it was legal, and they said yes, so we were able to put that on the car, which is good. We do need to fix up the cars race to race, especially ones that have struggled now. Ah! Oh, I've messed that up. Ah. Oops. I think we're going to have to buy a new car, basically, to get through this. Yeah, I've put 100% of me mechanics on testing. That was a really stupid thing to do. You know, I never made that mistake once. So we'll give Lewis Hamilton car 4, and we'll give George Russell car 3. And Nick de Vries can have car 2 for now. And we'll fix those up at... Actually, he doesn't want car 2, he wants car 1. Yeah. Oh, how annoying. Right. Okay. Engine-wise, we got our new engine through, which is perfect. We want to carry out some R&D. We'll do some improvements. Probably reliability and power. That's what you want to focus on initially. Tyres, obviously, we can't do anything with. Fuel, we can. So let's improve our fuel a little bit. Let's add a couple onto that and one onto performance. So we shouldn't need to keep going. 2 more rounds of fuel testing, and then we can put our eggs elsewhere, if you like. But that's all done with the cars, which is good. Let's see how our sponsorships have done. So you can see cash-wise, Ineos prepared to give us $2 million for 2 seasons, so we'll keep 15% on that for now. Fuel-wise, we have got a works deal on offer. Should be fairly achievable to get there. Same with Pirelli. And, of course, same with Mercedes. So Mercedes want to give us some money, which is really funny, actually, isn't it? Yeah, there you go. $31.5 million on offer from Petronas, which is good. Right, so we have got 25% availability, so I think it is time now to add in some of our guys. Now, Interlagos isn't a high rating, so I'm not that bothered about putting on the biggest show. But we might as well do 10-5-5-5. Increase this a little bit to try and woo the spectators. Or woo the delegates, I should say. But that's fine. Okay, right. Let's continue on with the season then. So, driver 1. Maybe we just need to take that aggression down a little bit. Do the same for George. Just see if we can actually get both cars to the the finish this time. I think just a little bit of experimenting with that will be good. We're going to pop a couple of those on there, and I think wind is a good one, actually, because it helps the car. Oops, that's on George Russell's, because I think that helps the downforce of the car, and that's what we're struggling with at the moment. So we'll add on an S-duct. That's perfect. Put the second engine and fuel in. I think hard tyres were the way to go. So I think that's what we'll do with George as well. Although I think it is worth doing something different with George this season. So let's do that. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, right, let's get into the second race of the season then, which is Brazil. So Interlagos was a very early race back in 1998. Of course, light rain. Light rain for this session. That's going to be interesting for Lewis. I think he is a bit of a wet weather expert on this game. So this could be a potential for pole position. George Russell might not qualify as well, but here we go. Let's see how we get on in qualifying, and it is P3 for Lewis Hamilton on the intermediate tyres. Max Verstappen takes pole just ahead of Charles Leclerc. You can see Esteban Ocon and Fernando Alonso much higher up than their performance would suggest normally. George Russell down in 8th there. Did anybody finish outside the 107? No, they didn't. So everybody qualifies for the race, which is good. It has dried up for the race. It is overcast, though, so cooler temperatures probably means that George Russell is going to have a slight advantage on his soft tyres. So Lewis Hamilton, once again, will be doing the one-stopper. Hopefully he will make it the whole way this time. So there you go. He can have fresh boots, all of them are fresh boots, aren't they? Because we had a wet qualifying. Again, two-stop race for George Russell. Let's see who can do better. Can we get a podium? Oh, we have got a podium. We have got a podium. And how good a podium is it? Second place. And it is second place for Lewis Hamilton. Excellent performance for him. Carlos Sainz wins his first ever Grand Prix for Ferrari. Lewis finishes second with Sergio Perez there in third. Charles Leclerc finishes in fourth place for Ferrari with Ricciardo in an excellent fifth and on the lead lap. Zhou Guanyu, what an awesome result for him. Sixth place for Alfa Romeo. Mick Schumacher seventh for Haas, then Vettel eighth, Alonso ninth, and K-Mag in 10th place. Looks like we've had quite a bit of attrition. Yes, we have. Nicholas Latifi out. Herta out, Albon, Grosjean, Gasly, and Russell had a part failure, which might be down to the fact he was running a very worn car. Ocon finishes 20th. Ocon out as well. Lando Norris with an accident. Not great for him. Charles Leclerc is in the lead of the standings, but on equal points with Carlos Sainz. Perez in third. Hamilton up to fourth with that result. Russell remains seventh. We are up to third in the constructors. Absolutely brilliant. Right, let's have a little look at the wear of the car. Yes, you can see car 4, which Hamilton had, is on 97% wear, so we're certainly not doing very well in terms of our wear rate at this part of the season. But that is going to be where we finish this first episode. We've done the first 2 Grand Prix of the season. Not bad, not great, pretty much like a Mercedes in real life, but a real positive performance, getting that second place, you know, picking up the points where we can. I think maybe a little bit of focus on reliability will do us some good going forward. But if you have enjoyed that, then give it a big thumbs up down below. Subscribe for plenty more Grand Prix World content. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.